Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Loud Poet Slam! Oh yeah! Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kevin Mclean. I will be your host for this evening. This is indeed the Loud Poet Slam. Not only the Loud Poet Slam, it is the South Heat of the Loud Poet Slam series. Not only that, it is also the Dumfries and Galloway Art Festival Slam. Give a whoop! It is so lovely to be back. Those that have been to one of our events before, we've been coming to the Stove now, partnering with the Stove for a couple of years now. This is like our fourth or fifth or something event here at the Stove. We have loved coming out here and partnering with them, and now to expand that and include Dumfries and Galloway Arts Festival is huge. This is lovely for us. Give me a little whoop if you came to the Slam last year. Some of you are back. Not slamming this year. No, I hide in the back. Good. Hey, give me a cheer if you've never been to a slam before. Slightly one of the slammers. That's the bravest thing you can do. That's amazing. I like how those were more timid, slightly less informed whoops. That was good. Well, don't worry. I am here to explain all of the slam stuff. What's going on? Why is that man screaming to us in a mic? All will become clear. Basically, this is a poetry slam. That's where we get a bunch of beautiful poets. We invite them up to the mic and we judge them and assign them scores and numeric values of worth. That is the conceit anyway. Don't worry, it's not that intense. Poetry slams are a lovely way to get a bunch of poets in a room and kind of see a bunch of different styles, hear a bunch of different voices, and it lures in lovely audiences like yourself who are here for the blood sport that is poetry slam. But it'll be much gentler than that. So the way it works, we have 10 slammers this evening, 10 beautiful slammers. They will compete over 3 rounds. They will each have 3 minutes of the mic each round to wow you with their poetic prowess, and they will be scored each round. We will go from 10 poets down to 6, down to 3, and then we will announce a runner-up and a winner. The winner will receive a £200 cash prize. Oh, just wait if you're excited now. The runner-up and the winner will also qualify for our Grand Slam final, which has a £3,000 cash prize. Yeah, the poets are excited now. Yes, we did it last year. We had 6 heats all over the country. We're doing the same again this year. We had 12 poets, the first and second place winner from all over the country. They came together for our Grand Slam final, and it was an incredible event. 12 absolutely insanely talented poets. And Rosie Jo Hunter took the prize. She took away £3,000, and that's allowed her to do a whole bunch of stuff. She's now touring a show, and she's been putting out some lovely video work that she bought a laptop with the money and all that stuff. And we are really, really pleased to be able to do that. So who are we? We are Loud Poets. We are part of I Am Loud Productions. I Am Loud Productions is Scotland's national spoken word production company. We put on events all over the country. It's fine, because Loud Poets, I would be fine without a mic. I wouldn't, please. I'm so tired. But yes, we do events all over the place trying to promote spoken word poetry, trying to elevate it. Scotland has a huge amount of poetic talent, especially in spoken word, but unfortunately not enough gigs, not enough prizes, not enough amazing opportunities for all those artists. And our mission is to provide those platforms, to provide those prizes, and that started last year with the Slam series and continues this year. So we are very excited to be back. We're very excited for the Slam. That's who we are. We also have 10 beautiful poets. You'll see them in varying states of distress down the front here. They are the ones that are taking on the arduous task of having their poetry put up for judgment. But who does the judging? I hear you roar in my mind. Our 3 wonderful judges. We have Katie representing I Am Loud. Katie's got a PhD in spoken word. That's a thing. Give PhDs out for nothing anymore. He says without an undergrad. I don't even... It's fine. She's the smart one. We get her to do the judging for I Am Loud, and we get me to chat shit into a microphone. That's the division of labour. So Katie is our judge representing I Am Loud. We also have a judge representing Dumfries and Galloway Arts Festival. Give it up for Emma! We are so pleased to be working with them. This year we've kind of expanded on what we did last year, where we were working with kind of local spoken word nights, and we've tried to grow what we're doing. So not only have we partnered with the Dumfries and Galloway Arts Festival for this heat, we partnered with Stanza, Scotland's International Poetry Festival, up in St Andrews. We partnered with Paisley Book Festival. We're partnering with Aberdeen Performing Arts. All these kind of amazing organisations that are doing the work in those areas to try and create these sort of stages and platforms. So Emma is here to represent all of that. And I'm just saying now, I don't know whether this is a good sign or a bad sign. Most of the people we asked to judge are like, oh, I don't want to. Emma went, yes. That sounds awesome. I don't know whether she's bloodthirsty or expecting bribes, but there's no rules against bribes, poets. Feel free to indulge in the chaos. And then our final judge is last year's South Heat runner-up, who is the host of Brave New Words, who's a huge part of what goes on here poetry-wise at the Stove Network. She's one of our favourite poets in the scene. She's the Scots Screever. She's all these wonderful things. Make some noise for Susi Briggs! Susie is keen. But Susie, the reason she's getting up there is not just to accept plaudits. That would have been great if she just bowed. Susie fulfills another integral role here at the Slam. So it can be very difficult when you are the first person up to the mic. Slamming is so scary. If you've never done it before, you are kind of putting your stuff out there to be judged. You're in a room full of people you don't know, talking your feelings into a microphone, following this great idiot's ramblings. That can be very tough, especially if maybe you've never done a slam before. So we have a sacrificial poet, a poet who gets to come up and warm up the mic and put some energy in the room, get you guys into the slam before any of our poets have to. And Susie is going to be filling that role for us. So that is what Susie's going to be doing. But that's not all. We got our slammers. We got our host. We got our judges. We got our beautiful venue. And you guys are our wonderful audience. Now, the judges, they may be worrying about scores. I do not want you guys to worry about points. I don't want you to worry about who the best poet is. I don't want you to worry about any of that. I want you guys to worry about giving all the love, all the support to all of the poets, because it is, like I said, a horrible thing to have to do. So the best thing you guys can do is cheer them on, give them lots of love, give them lots of support the whole way through. Are you up for that? This is loud poets, guys. It's in the name. Are you up for that? Yes, Dumfries. Yes, that's what I like to hear. I'm sure you guys are going to be up for the task. This is going to be wonderful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the list of poets in the order they will read, because I told them earlier and I know they all went poof, deleted. So I'm going to run through that list of poets, and then I'm going to invite Susie up and we will get this thing rolling. So we will do one big clap at the end. Don't let me down, Dumfries. So we have Aditya. Susie, you're a judge. You're so goddamn enthusiastic. I love it. Don't be like Susie. We have Aditya, Ben the Doonhamer, Kirsty... Oh, sorry, I thought that was something. I was ready to judge someone else for clapping there. We have Christy Gourlay, Colleen Wood, Emery, Katie Riley, Catherine Marper, Noor, Shaq, and Tabo. Those are your 10 poets. They will all be reading in that order in the first round. We'll have a little break and then we'll come back for the second and third round. We will eventually crown a winner. And I do it every time, but I have forgotten the key thing, the most essential thing, the very best bit. Forget your 200 quid. Forget your $3,000. Forget the pride of victory. The true prize. The Loud Poets Slam Championship belt. A great deal more excitement from the poets than the audience is what I'm feeling. Understandable, they don't have a chance of winning it. You guys do. So that is the main thing. That's what we're all here for. This whole thing isn't an elaborate ruse so I can have a wrestling belt, I promise. Guys, we are going to get underway with our fantastic Sacrificial Poet. Please give all the energy, all the love, welcome to the stage, the incredibly enthusiastic Susi Briggs!
Well, hello there. It's nice to be back and not have to perform with all the pressure. So, love to all of you competitors today. Don't worry, just do your best and know that you're good enough. Okay, whatever happens. So this is a poem that I wrote for a commission for the Scottish Poetry Library, a response to Robert Burns. And he had written a poem called "Oh Tibby, I hae seen the day," 10 verses telling Tibby that she was a stuck-up cow for patching him on the way home from the church. He was only 17, to be fair, so it was a bit of a rage poem. We've all done them. And he calls her, thinks she must be a queen because she's got money and he's a poor farmer. Oh, Didham's right. Okay, so I'll never get invited to a Burns supper again. Right? So this is her response, because she never got one for all those hundreds of years. Oh, Rabbi, I hae seen the day you would muck me sigh, wi' words laced wi' promised love, but truth I caretna buy. Aye, I saw you on the moor. I geck at you noo, no 'cause you're poor. You treated me like yin of your whores, and I cannae told the lies. You see, I come hame on Sunday last. By then glamour's spell became uncast, severing ties o' tender past, and truth o' that care I. But I doubtna, man, that you mun think you lost your chain for I hae clink. It's no for gowd that I shrink, my love for it to die. Oh, poor hurt Rabbi, greeting in the dark. I pity that lass doon at John Park. I want tuck her in the sark, and truth I caretna buy. Blame me, Rabbi, for haeing gear, garn and screeve o' love nae mair. 10 ill verses to say you dinna care. I'll wager that's a lie. You see, your pride's been dunted, no you're hurt. For me, a lassie chose another airt. I want plough wounded in the dirt and utter your reasons as to why. It's no the money that mucks me mean. It's the flirt of new day on the scene. And so what if I decide that I'm a queen and look sae proud and high?
Yeah. Susi Briggs, everybody! Poetry scene has a long memory. Imagine 300 years later, people pulling up your poems. That's the fear in it. That's good. Be careful what you write. Guys, that is the wonderful Susi Briggs. She is our Sacrificial. You can see why she was such a smashing part of the Grand Slam final last year, why she did so well in the heat here last year. Guys, are you ready for the first round? Then please help me welcome to the stage our first slammer. Go absolutely wild for Aditya!
Hello everyone, my name is Aditya and this is a poem about having that name in this country as an immigrant. My name retracts from conversations like a tongue that was flung too far. The first time I said my name on this land was a response to someone else ruining it. Aditya, I corrected the customs officer. It means the sun, and you're looking at it. His face crumpled as if he'd asked me for the crossword and I'd given him a Sudoku. 6 sounds, 6 slots, but with no clues to help him match. And that's when I knew my name is a 2-person sport. Losing syllables like dust every time it hits the chord. I watch you meet me, curiously greet me. Take a half-hearted stab, then half-heartedly laugh as those last few sounds defeat me. The sounds that stand for the land that raised me have raised me. Not entirely, though. I've settled for a smaller name, and quietly so. It helps you utter my name better, helps you hire me more. But even though it's a shorter sound, it tires me more to say it. That's what happens when you apply an algorithm to the only rhythm you know. Be mutable to be suitable. Shrink until they get comfortable. My name slips from your brain to the base of your mouth like coffee. Too crowded for where it was, too hot for where it went, so I bent it to a shape your tongue can make, shaved letters off the end, gave it a softer state. The rest is reserved for the walls of my mind, for tongues that can twist, for mouths with a spine. My name is an exercise in approximation, a cheap carbon copy of a pale imitation. Now, I don't mind approximations. Like Scottish summers approximating into June, like my body approximating your tunes, but failing to hit the mark is different from aiming at the ceiling. You miss in both cases, but in only one did you stand a chance of succeeding. Mathematician Kurt Gödel defines a necessary falsehood as a statement that has no choice but to be false. A married bachelor, a peaceful war. Your shot at my name, my shot at your world. My name is a two-person sport, and I play it in every meeting. Every job interview, every offhanded greeting, conceding every slip, every careless misreading. But my name is a song that I'm tired of repeating. In office spaces and less formal places, indeed what you and I might call the normal places, in all such cases my name disgraces, it self-effaces, it laughs, embraces. And I don't know how to make the latitudes of your tongue intersect with the longitudes of the sun. So I will say this. If you don't want to aim for my name, aim high. Throw the knife to the sky, to the gods, then stand underneath it, slack-jawed. Let it drop to your throat. Mow your tongue in two. That's one way to make my name easier for you. Aditya, I correct the customs officer. No, I'm not carrying any weapons.
So earlier today, as a part of our activities here at Dumfries and Galloway Art Festival, we did a workshop, a performance workshop, and in that performance workshop, I was like, hosts will fuck up your name. If they do, just correct them. Do that. That will break them. No, it's perfect. Guys, we are going to have our second slammer come up to the mic. Please go wild to be welcome, Ben the Doonhammer!
Hello folks, pleasure to be with you all. Novel Loud Poets. I was here last year, only got to the second round. Let's see how I do tonight. If anyone's got a heart condition, I apologise for this, because this first poem is called Forced Death! Okay. There's a pacified two-sided monster on the head of my four-headed shoulder. Infertile, infectious, pendulum swinging to my civilized cranium. Genetic vegetation grown above no water for this unsoiled sandman entering unrepentant. To the unwritten physics of evaporation, take me to your destination and we'll hand-pat the first Western medicine man. Give me a small budget and we'll re-rehearse the moon landing. Resoil the crop circles. Conspiracy turned sour. Saipan Burning Man with meshes to turn fashion sour. Living with passion. What mood decides a person's practice in laughter? Hospital beds are in spasm, so welcome the population overflowing mortar. May we yield to the non-conformant candidate. Staple questions to the floor. Throw a fist to the propaganda pamphlet, carrying statues that become a statistic. Prevailing winds are turning, and every village bows to the industrial weather station. The tide is left, never to return. North by northwest wind splits my atoms. Shapeshifters returning as a new breed born. First, death.
that applause going. Let's put some energy in the room as we welcome to the stage the wonderful Christy Goulet.
This poem's called Hope is Terminal, and it's about as happy as it sounds. I have broke this. Great start. Thank you. Would you like a bag with that? That'll be £12.63 altogether. Please, is it cash or card today? Would you like a bag with that? Yes, the quail's eggs are right this way. I'm sorry you're upset, but the fat content of the frozen roast potatoes is not something that's within my control. Would you like a bag with that? This wasn't the life I had planned. I was some bright young thing in the greatest city in the world, dreams bigger than the skyscrapers surrounding me. I could picture the future me so vividly. Reciting Shakespearean poetry on the world's biggest stages, everyone's eyes on me, waxing lyrical with my contemporaries about the benefits of Meisner versus Adler, like the pretentious tool I longed to be. Funny how life didn't work out that way. Instead, I became another statistic in a bracket called failed to make it. The word failure rings in my mind at least twice a day. It keeps me awake. In the dead of night, I am haunted by the girl I could have been, and I hope that somewhere across the multiverse there is another me whose dreams did become reality, who sleeps at night so peacefully, who never has to doubt herself or worry about might-have-beens, a me whose trajectory didn't fall flat like a SpaceX rocket, a me who didn't peak in college, who is living the good old days, not looking back wistfully. Nostalgia is my comfort and my enemy. I close my eyes, but I can't escape my reality, so I try to send myself across a universe of infinite possibilities, because somewhere out there must be a version of me who is successful and free. And if I find her, I won't feel bitter. The possibility of her brings me comfort during the day when I am stacking shelves. I wish her well, while I waste away in the waiting place, throwing away all my potential, trapped in this existential hell. My thoughts run wild. I have no purpose. There is no meaning. We're just meat-packed skeletons grasping at stars, trying to distract ourselves from the fact that we're stuck in the mud, screaming hopelessly into the abyss. There's got to be more to life than this. It isn't over until the fat lady sings, and I've got so many songs unsung in me. My future is an unwritten melody that only my soul knows. There are no locks strong enough, no walls high enough to hold me. Inside me there is a symphony. If I can strike the right chords, I can set myself free. I'll lift my voice higher than the skyscrapers that once surrounded me. No one gets to decide my future but me. No one gets to decide my future but me. I won't waste away in the waiting place. I won't wait on others or wait for change. Any day now is going to be the last day I say, would you like a bag with that? Any day now. Any day.
We are off to a riotous start. I know we're going to keep it going. Please welcome to the stage the wonderful Colleen Wood.
This is called The Sneeze. We went for a drive that weekend, we went away, and it rained. You picked the songs and your sister just complained, but when I looked to my left, I saw you right, sitting in the same front seat but in a different light. Older, growing up, in front of my eyes. And if I hadn't squeezed your knees, I would have thought it all lies, because you asked me if we had to play the clean versions of the songs. And I didn't even know that you knew why they were so wrong for little girls to listen to. So I just carried on driving and let your sister listen too. Until Beyonce came on. And the display screen showed her as naked as the day she was born, apart from a cowboy hat and a silver love heart where knickers would usually be worn. And you just stared at that image. And fuck knows what you must have been thinking when we were listening to her singing about all the things that we were listening to her singing about. And you just carried on dancing, singing along without a care in the world. But that won't last for much longer. I've felt it recently, but this brought it on so much stronger. You were sort of frozen in time or kind of caught in between. The little girl I used to hold on my chest and the little girl becoming a teen with a million questions. Hardly any solutions, but infinite opinions to bat off. So I back off and sit this one out. I watch you from the corner of my eye as you squirm a little in your seat, dancing still, rolling your fists to the beat. A bit like you were in Steps, seminal 90s pop band, Steps. But it isn't as innocent as Steps, is it? It's all explicit. And so for the next minute, I panic about losing you. Have you already gone? Look, I know this is life and life has to move on. It's over when you notice me, sniff and start sighing and ask me if, Dad, are you crying? And yes, I'm crying. Not prepared for moments like these, but I'm not ready to let you go or let it show. And so I say no. I'm just trying not to sneeze.
We are almost halfway through the first round. Please help me welcome to the stage our next poet, Henry!
Hello, hello. Hi, hi. All right, we've had some lovely poems so far, so I'm going to lower the tone with some smut. This is The Pest Control Guy. I have a guest coming over, the apple of my eye, the object of my lust, the pest control guy. There's just something about him as I peer through my window. With those tight jeans and beard, he looks quite the himbo. The smell of his musk mixed with pesticides, it stirs a strange mix of feelings inside. Queasy with lust, or rat-killing vapor, I'd stick to his side like he's made of fly paper. I open the door, dressed in only a gown, hanging off of my shoulder as his eyes linger down. Why don't you come in my breathiest voice? The bedroom or right here, I'll give you the choice. He takes a step in, his hands grasping mine. He opens his mouth as I look into his eyes. Twin orbs like fat roaches, so dark and so round. They look first at me and then to the ground. Here would be best. I can hardly reply. I can already see a couple of flies. Flies, I think, my mind only on his, so much that I barely hear the next thing he says. Eye on the walls, it won't take a mo. And my ego receives a crushing death blow. Can he not take a hint, this great hunk of man, that I want him to rail me as fast as he can? But it seems that his head is full only of bugs, and I still can't stop staring at his well-chiseled mug. I'll make conversation, distract him from work, but the chat is so dry from this professional Burke. Chemical dilution or spray nozzle hose while my eyes are begging that he rip off my clothes. God, those firm hands, gloves pulled on with a snap, I want them to hold me like a strangling rat. His top button undone and his eyes filled with purpose, the artful ringleader of this sensual circus. But now his work is complete, and he turns back to me. Will there be anything else from his sandy goatee? My mind full of replies of what I'd like him to do, but I can't meet his eyes, and all I say is thank you. I stare a hole in his head as he walks back to the van, shocked that he thwarted my masterful plan. Next time, I suppose I'll be much less subtle, greet him stark naked and grab his belt buckle. There's no accounting for taste or the dimness of men, but God, I hope he gets the hint next time. Amen.
For those that have never been to a slam before, for those people like whoop, this is why I love slams. You could not get 5 more different poems if you tried. The second half, I am sure, will be just as wonderfully strange. We are going to kick it off. Please give some extra special love to a first-time slammer. Go absolutely wild for Katie Riley!
Not only am I the idiot that's here for the first time doing a slam, I'm also sharing my poetry for the first time. So this one's called Guilty Pleasure, and it's about my brother who we went through a lot as children, and this is about him struggling a lot with it. So it's called Guilty Pleasure. A young man, he drives me crazy. He's the only one that's kept me up at night. His bad habits and stubbornness makes me mad. But when he smiles, it really is the best. Sorry. Nerves. His heart consists of gold, but there's this dragon that resides within. The dragon allows no one to enter. It dedicates its life to protecting the damaged gold. The gold that once was stolen by a man in his sex addiction. The gold taken back by the dragon, but returned to it broken and tarnished. Alcohol and drugs, as bad as they are, they put the goblins in his head at ease. The substance paralyzed the dragon for a while and allows me to enter to try and repair the damage. In this moment, I get loving words and soft embraces, something the dragon would never allow. This is a guilty pleasure of mine, a pleasure that comes at a price. The price to pay could be that of his life. What do I do about this guilty pleasure of mine?
It takes balls to do a slam at the best of times, to do your first one scary, to read for the first time in one. Fucking hell. Good job. Give another round of applause for Katie. That's crazy. And please keep that applause rolling, keep it building as we welcome our next slammer, Catherine Marpin!
Hi, thank you. So this poem's called To All the Nonces Who Tried to Nonce Me. I remember going on a date with a guy who proudly declared that he liked to train women in bed. As if that's something for which he shouldn't feel guilt or shame or even dread. He said, if she's too good in bed, then you know she's been sleeping around. But the worst thing, the very worst, would be to train a girl and then get dumped. Then all your hard work would go to getting some other dude fucked. I remember a message popping up online, asking if I wanted a real good time, telling me I'm pretty, saying he wanted to see me, asking me to meet him in a hotel, an abandoned car park as well. I remember a group of men wolf whistling at me when I was 14. I remember it was one of the first times that I'd ever felt seen. I remember the confusion. It made me smile, but it also made me walk faster. My body's instinct to escape the danger it faced, fighting with the joy of being seen, rooted in my low self-esteem. I remember middle-aged men cracking crude jokes while I worked. I remember hearing jokes and rumors about teachers which, as an adult, no longer make me smirk. I remember the time, I remember the place, I remember the men. And I wonder what has happened to them. Has some brave young woman reported them or called them out? And was she listened to? Personally, I've got my doubts. But maybe one day, when we recount our stories of sexual assault, we won't be met with that same old boring response of women sadly chanting, "Me too," while men simply state, "I don't believe you."
Catherine Marpin, everybody. We have 3 poets left. I think we could all do with a breath. Shall we do a breath? Everyone, breathe in on 3. 1, 2, 3. Are you ready for your next poet? Yeah. Then let's go wild for news!
Hello. Oh, this is scary, isn't it? Everything is fine. I mean, we tell ourselves this lie nearly every day of our lives, but like really, truly, in your mind, is everything fine? Look, it's okay to not be okay all the time because there is stress in this life. And if you ask me what it is, what's stressing you, why, I don't really say much because I don't really know, but I know that I'm not the only one that feels like this inside because, see, he was fine yesterday, but today he just wants to hide and he can't figure out why. So he's in his bedroom and he's shut his blinds, but see, it's still light outside. Not that he'd know because, see, he didn't sleep all night and he just don't feel right and he just don't know why. See, his thoughts race. He can't control the pace. They take over. He rolls over and he cries. But see, just then, his girl calls and he picks up the phone. He completely changes his tone and he tells her, everything's fine. And she says, are you sure? I feel like there's something on your mind. He says, I just told you I'm fine. She says, all right. See, they laugh, they smile, they finish talking. He cuts the line, but that was just so he could lay back down to cry because, see, everything is not fine. And see, even when it is fine, it's not really, because see, he's waiting for it not to be fine again. And see, I know that moment's coming and that anxiety, when it builds up inside, look, I'm tired of holding it in. As if this anxiety that I feel is some sort of sin. Like if I'm not okay, I must not believe in God. And once my faith builds up, then So if I have anxiety, my faith must be weak. And once that's built up, I'm sure you'll be happy. Like, what the fuck? See, the amount of faith that I have, you wouldn't believe. My faith is the only thing that allows me to breathe. I've spent hours, days, weeks, months on my knees asking God, please, help me understand why. Why do I feel like everything isn't fine with no substantial reason as to why? Look, so now I'm hiding behind a fake smile, in denial, believing everything is fine. Because look, if I fake this smile long enough, maybe the wind will blow and I'll be stuck like this forever. Look, at least that's what Mumsy told me happens when we make funny faces in the wind. See, a smile, it's a funny sort of face because sometimes it just happens, and see, them moments there you can't replace. But when it's forced and when it's faked, when you're only smiling to get yourself through the day, smiling to get yourself through the pain, that smile, it's lost in vain. Because when people stop looking, that smile turns into a sigh. Because everything is not fine. Thank you.
We have reached our penultimate poet, and the only person I'll be raising the microphone for. Please go wild for Shaq!
Pitter raps. Pick some peppers on the Piper tracks. Pitters pickled sour nipples tickles the tongue and wets the whistle, whistling wet, whistle, whistle, wet, soaking, madness, provoking, raps with chicken in it, chicken filler, roasted, it's a winner, it's for dinner, all portions must be bigger. Bigger, better pitter raps, Peter rhyming on the Piper tracks, rather lax, I'd rather relax into the relapse, then realise I'm traumatised, in fact I'd rather round up roundlings in a Russell haze, a pure Russell, rustling, windy, wet, rusty, rotten apples in pitter wraps. It's a free ride. Can you handle that? As I grab the handle, attach, dismantle the handle, now you can't grab. Locked in, so now you're forced to listen. While I add any ingredient, when it's raiding, I'm experienced in ingredients that are expedient to learn progress from an intermediate to a superior. Within rhyming, elevating to fine dining, dine whining, exceptional timing when enunciating. Not faking the pitter filler making, but rather filler pitter baking. I'm salivating as I'm entertained with the stuffed peppers Peter picked. To hold my mouth fits around the lid of the rim, teeth splintered at the brim, I get a taste. So we know there's no leftovers for the bin when I consume every word within this poem. Thank you.
And now I'm hungry and jealous. Guys, we have reached our final poet in the first round. Please give all the love as we welcome to the stage, Tabo!
Hi. All right, so this one is named The Whispers in My Ear. It's not as easy to walk away from the mirror when all you do is study the signs of your former self. A fading light in search of proofs of a pain locked inside. Bones so brittle, skin so thin, each day slips in to an uncomfortable spin. Another food wrestle ensues from within. Dear diary, today I've eaten half a cracker, a bowl of mixed veggies, 2 soup cubes. I no longer depend on food like I used to. Prefer my cup of tea in small-sized teaspoons. It is the whispers in my ear that keep telling me to lose more kilojoules. Dear diary, my stomach rejects the food I consume. The little strength I have erupts through the mouth in a form of thick fluid. The stench fills the air with unsatisfied heat, causing walls to drip with moist. It is the whispers in my ear that keep telling me to lose more kilojoules, lose more kilojoules. Dear diary, I'm a result of a dreadful childhood. This eating disorder emerges from an abusive household. Wearing baggy clothes to cover the perceived weight loss brings me face to face with the soul I have lost. It is the whispers in my ear that keep telling me to lose more kilojoules, lose more kilojoules. Dear diary, today I had another medical emergency. However, this time around, I did not slash my arm like I did when I was young. It is different. I scuffled, kicked the blankets, opened my eyelids, found drips beneath the armpits. In oblivion, I asked, where am I? What am I doing here? Am I sick? The doctor replied, yes, according to this report, you may be anorexic. Sick. Thank you.
Yeah. Give it up for Tabo! I can only apologize to the judges. Fucking hell, what a first round of a slam that was. Can we get a round of applause for all of our slammers? I think the second half will be good. For now, we are going to tot up some scores. Please go and tell a poet you like their stuff. Like, 4 poets aren't going to get through to the second round, and I'm the one organising this, and I feel that's out of order. There's little I can do about it at this stage, but it seems wrong. So please, if you liked a poet's stuff, go tell them you did. That will mean the world to them. We are going to take about a 15-20 minute break, and we will come back with who is through at the second round, a feature set from the wonderful Susi Briggs. Round 2, round 3, it's going to be mad. Guys, we will see you in 15-20 minutes. Thank you all. Did everyone have a lovely break? Yeah. Good. So yes, I have the 6 poets that are through to the second round. So we're going to have that. And then we will then have Susi come up, do 10 minutes, because whoever's gone through to the second round will turn to jelly immediately and need time to reconstitute. So that is what that is for. So yes, I just want to reiterate that if you did not get through to the second round, like, that is absolutely not on you. That was an insane first round. Genuinely, there's 2 people here who have probably been to more of these slams than I have, and I host the fucking things. And I was having a chat with them in the interval, and they were agreeing with me that this, out of the sort of last 2 years of slam seasons, might be one of the best first rounds we have ever had. That was ridiculously stacked. Mind how I told you how Emma was excited to be a judge? Not so much. So it's been tricky. So yeah, please do not be disheartened if you did not get through. It's a tough old game, the slamming. So I am going to read out the names, and I will read them in the order that they will perform, and that will be the reverse order of the first round. Everyone in the audience is like, just read the fucking names! But I like to draw it out unnecessarily to anger the poets, to see how long before they revolt. No. I'm gonna revolting poets. No, thank you. So the 6 poets going through. I should say actually before we. I live for that little bit, just so you know. So, going through to the second round, we will do 1 clap at the end. Susi. Tabo. Yeah. Shaq, Noor, Emery, Christy, Aditya. Shortened you just to Christy there because you're the only one in the second round with a second name. Who knew that was the key to slam? 1 name only. Madonna would smash this. Cool. So while those poets collect their thoughts, actually, can we just get 1 big round of applause for everyone who didn't get through the second round? That is a crazy, crazy first round. slams are wild. Yes, so while those poets collect themselves, we are going to welcome back our Sacrificial Poet. She's just one of my absolutely favourite people in the scene, never mind poets. She is just such a force of good for specifically this scene, the work she does here in Dumfries to promote Scots language, to promote this part of the world, to take poetry from here out and around the country. She does you guys proud. Please welcome back to the stage the wonderful Susi Briggs!
Thank you. Again, but it's there as a safety blanket. Diva. She screamed at me, "It's done," then dragged my heaving heart awa for the wreckage. Her gentle thoughts on every chain, every bruise, every wound. She gifted me an axe. She showed me where the curves were. She showed me how to pluck out the broken shards in my identity. With her hand at my back, she whispers, "Keep walking." And we walk away the storms that other folk summon. And if I fail to listen and get drawn into the black waters, she yells and she points to where the safe harbours are. On dry land, her wit tickles me, and I laugh out loud, and often note that at times is deemed by the gurning faces of folk with notions that women should ken by now where the lines are drawn. And still laughing, we smash the patriarchy, yin wee bit at a time. She sprinkles glitter trails ahin me as I dance for it into the bricked adventure that is new my life. Moulded into form, she gathers in all the love offered, moulds it into form, wraps it in her licht. And look, placing it right on my head, looking right into me and smiling, she calls me Diva. Thank you very much. So this poem is called Portrait, and this came from a workshop that I did with the I Am Loud writing workshop, which I think if you're a Patreon, you can access via the Discord. So I'm plugging that because I've managed to write some pretty decent stuff from that, and thank you very much. But not only that, I took that workshop to the Waynes at Kakubri Academy and, you know, cracked open their imaginations and got some really great work out of them, so, which I'll plagiarize. No, I won't. But this is my one. It's called Portrait. How should I be posed, holding the hand o' a wane unfurled and open, unfettered by the minds o' men? Let the wee in play, blowing bubbles into the oily ether. Paint me in daubs of fire and berries, the wane in bud's green verdance, mute the rest. You can hang the picture above the mantle in my bairnhood council house. Let them that care enough see this resilient beauty. And paint me as I am now, curved, scarred. Dinna hide my nana's chin. Skinkle in my brick-licked een with your finest brush, and leave my back foot poised, ready to leave the frame. So this is, I'm going to do two more. Okay. This is a new one. Yeah, nobody's heard it before, unless you were on my Facebook. I did put a video up there. This is called Eggshells. You scattered eggshells at my feet instead of petals. Lips that yins kissed me tender, shot words cruel and wounding, called shudders like iced boulders, E'en your glare had sharp enough edges to leave bruised cuts on my kindness. I was the pulsating licht, suffocating in the darkness. And the walls you built, and you couldn't tear them down so love could breathe. I wanted you to fecht for me. I wanted you to dig for me. I wanted you to find me in the stour and the debris. But I'll dig for myself. In this devastating carnage, or this illusionary pantomime that you called love. That wasn't love. And I'll beg nae mair for what I can gae to my ain sell. Lately I hae kept things sae loud, so I canna hear in the silence that haunting echo that I am nothing. When really, I am awthin'. And I try to hold the broken parts together seamless for the healing to set in. I hae gret. I hae raged that you out of awe had made my safe harbour into a storm, but my ship will nae sink into the dark waters. I hae lit my een glimmer again with a permissive licht, for I refuse to rue love. For that is all that I am, and all that I want to be. And finally, I'll take you to a little childhood memory place of mine. It's a real place. It's called the Rooten Brig. It's not far from here. Yeah, the Rooten Brig, you know it? It's a wonderful place. I was there just the other day and just, lovely. Anyway, the Rooten Brig. Let's gan for a run. 7 of us pile into the Brune Reynoldt estate, wriggling for room. My sister Debbie hods me ticked around the waist in the days afore seatbelt laws. My other sister gurns about my brother's bony hair sticking into her leg and gets told off for swearing. Papa stops at the shop for juice, crisps and sausage rolls. We didn't gang that far, but at 4-year-old it felt like we were gone to the moon. A waft of the clatter of the council estate, a waft of the noisy neighbours, and that raj wee boy at the park where I piddled on the slides and nobody else could play on it. Papa says, "Look for it to the road ahead, Susie. You'll no get sick if you do that. And stop eating your snorters, you'll get worms." Down the road, past moo coos and sheepy maze, I anticipate each bend to where the wild garlic and the bluebells await. I seek the kirk o' iron grey, a beacon in the summer sun. Its familiar sandstone and white paint, a signal that we're no far now. We stop just afore the brig. Oh, arms and legs, I burst out the car, dappled green and sunbeam swirls. The wee birds lilt their skinkling sangs o'er the roar of the blattering water. And my wee heart loops and thrums, and I get instant fairyland disco fever. I run to the top of the steep path, down onto my hunkers, I skiddle down to my enchanted fairyland escape. The rocks and ferns conceal secret places where fae folk hide from mortal men. But they dinna hide from me, though. They ken I'm all richt, and they come out to play. I marvel at the white waterfall cascading bricked, plashing against the arc wet stains. A rainbow portal shimmers and vanishes. I slip off my shin and I plant my feet on the dry shingle shore. Grit finds its way between my toes, then disperses with the first dip. Each slow step in the caul brown water finds fit hod and grooves between slippy stains. My hands racks out, ready to touch the muckle rock jutting out for the forest edge, into the flow, pure and certain. Paddling pixies and drouthy bumblebees enjoy the shallow water pools of this ancient mossy seat. Above the arched frame of the cascading white water, my old papa has ascended to the top of the tree, or so it seems. And I can still hear him shout, "Susie, look up!" Oh. Did you do that? Thank you.
Susi Briggs, everybody! Maybe literally magic. That was fucking weird. Yeah, as you're an actual magic person, Susie. That's kind of terrifying. I've pissed Susie off many a time. Shouldn't have made those jokes about her being too enthusiastic. Sure, it'll be fine. Guys, give it one more time for Susi Briggs. Absolutely phenomenal. Are you ready for the second round? Then I will fuck about no longer. Let's get underway. Guys, please help me welcome back to the stage our first poet in the second round. Go absolutely wild for Tamo!
So I'm going to tell you guys a bit about my grandma, but I will need your help with this one. So whenever I raise my hand up high, all you need to do is shout, "Say what?" as loud as you can. Yeah. So we'll just go through a trial, and let's do it. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's quite impossible to understand the full nature of poets from a human perspective. It's quite impossible to understand the full nature of poets from a human perspective. In my village, cutting living wood is forbidden. We gather the dead wood and congregate around campfire every evening. Listening to my grandmother's stories makes us all feel alive. She speaks poetry. It is her celestial language, casts a faith among still waters, and the universe conspires in her favor. Speaks poetry, gathers herself in many ways, speaks poetry whenever she prays. Her language is sacred. The soul rhymes with each syllable like an act without exhaustion. It is in her posture, faithful to her mother tongue, like a loyal sentence to an apostrophe. She is my savior, the Christ embodied, exists in her body. It is life in its purest form. She speaks a result of explosive divine. She's pure, holy, divine, beyond the untimely design. Born from catastrophic events. Listening to her words is like picking through God's keyhole. She possesses the ability to connect a torn sequel. It is not just poetry that she speaks. This is her heart and sweat. This is what she bleeds when it hurts. It's quite impossible to understand the full nature of poets from a human perspective. Back to the underworld.
Make some noise for Tamo! And keep that noise building, keep that applause going. Let's put some energy in the room. And welcome back to the stage, Shay!
The foulness of man will never be matched. Realizing great fairness from ill fortitude, we must suffer ferociously. Facing friend and enemy, battling the fierceness of our greed that cannot be fed but must feed. Endlessly. tirelessly. We toil the earth in its entirety in search of what we yearn and need. We build cities of monumental disparity. The only justification is that this world is naturally unfair. And fighting our every effort to forcefully live beyond our frivolous existences. Filling in the blanks of what to kill us with, but forgiving our every sin so we can carry on sinning, fighting and dying for the seductive sirens. We are seduced by a kiss of smoke, scorches my lips. I don't know why I go for another toke. It seems worth the risk, and yet I hope to be immortalized from statues and ornaments that will be shipped to monopolies and conquerors, admired by wanderers, moulded by paupers, scorned by those lower than us. The unjust have sorted us into the classes fit for a city's purposes. This is not a community, but a place to weep, work, and worship, wondering if it's all worth it, because ultimately, we all die. So why live a life to sacrifice and strive for gifts that will never satisfy or replace the absence of gratitude? In a place where no one cares about you. The city. Thank you.
And please help me welcome back to the stage the fantastic New.
Hello. So I had to quit my job recently because I'm worried that my boss has racist tendencies. Because he would talk about his ancestral greed with these proud eyes of glee. So when Mr. Smith will come say to me, Noor, you want a cup of tea or coffee? I had to hold in my feelings of defeat. I wondered if those before me were tutting their teeth, because I'm letting this man offer me the tea or the beans for which they had to bleed. Look, it's a simple thing you may think, cup of tea or coffee, but see, for me, it's that to remind me of what was taken from those before me, of how Britain became home to me. So I look down at the cup of tea, and as I stir in the tea leaves, the colour becomes more like me, and I can't help but see the blood of my ancestors before me. See, Britain is not home to me. It don't matter if I want it to be, because see, down these streets, they sell Indian tea and Arabic coffee, but they tell me that this ain't home to me. But see, this is the only home that I've ever known, because my home was taken from us. And our ancestry is so battered and bruised. Tracing back history, it's like forcing open old wounds. Look, our parents don't even share our history because of what they had compared to what we have. Look, mum and dad don't even own land because they sold the land that their ancestors had to build a life in this united motherland. Look, everyone fell for your scam of safety in this motherland, and now we're all holding out our hands, asking for our own stuff back. See, no one wants to write about how the English were thieving crooks. They seem to have left that shit out of our history books. They told us the sun never sets on the British Empire, but they failed to tell us it was because of their selfish desires to take what wasn't for sale. See, they sailed to make sure that our empires failed. They came to teach divide and rule. They just wanted to watch the Raj fall. They drew lines on our maps with our blood on their swords. History carved by old men who knew that they wouldn't live to see the tyranny unfold, but look, I lived to see the truth told. When they drew the borders, it was with swords so coarse, they changed the course of my history. Your swords divided our lands through blood, through tyranny. And now we're forced to live in your home that we have no rights to own based on colour and class. Look, how long can this last? Before we're all gone, back to the real motherlands, leaving these men unseasoned and bland, leaving the NHS without a plan. Thank you so much.
Yeah. A poem worth remembering in the next few weeks. Just saying. Guys, please help me welcome back our next poet to the stage. Give all the love and the warmest welcome to Emery!
All right. I've got something very different this time. This is called Winter. A chill wind rises, cuts through coat and window pane in snow-kissed city streets. Soft frost crunches, a faint footprint in the grass in the morning's brief hour. Mist hanging low, mingles with my hot breath in dawn's dilute light. Evening snow shower, lightest beads of ashen white in 5 o'clock darkness. That's outside now, and warm arms keep chills at bay in duvet and soft lights. Thank you.
Everybody! Keep that applause rolling. Let's get this noise going as we welcome back to the stage the wonderful Christy Gurley!
So this poem is anyone, I'm assuming people have seen Shrek 2, and there's, and there's that town where like all the fairy tale characters live. So this is written from the point of view of like a background character in a fairy tale. I always believed in fairy tales. Snow White got her prince, Sleeping Beauty got her kiss, Cinderella got to go to a party, and Belle got a whole ass library. They were all able to make their dreams come true. And I grew up thinking that too. That if I wished on stars and whistled while I worked really hard, then one day the wishes my heart made would bring rainbows shining through. My faith and trust knew no bounds. But there's only so far you can get without pixie dust. In the stories, the heroes suffer trials and tribulations before overcoming the odds. They succeed in achieving their goals no matter the cost, rattling the stars as their greatness shines off them in rays. And when their hero's journey is complete, it's worth the price they had to pay. So then, what's wrong with me? I've had my share of setbacks, but not enough yet, it seems. They say the universe never gives you more than you can handle, so why does it feel like I'm the butt of some big cosmic joke that everyone is in on but me? Lost, trapped, and hopeless, sapped of my life force, lacking whatever it is they're looking for. Why am I left behind when I always believed I could fly? Have I not paid my dues tenfold? Kept my nose to the grind? I've lost friends, family, and time with lost loved ones I will never get back. I've poured my life, my heart, my soul into a dream that will never be real. I try to keep thinking happy thoughts, to keep flying high the way I've been taught, but the failures of my life keep playing on a loop in my mind. The ground is getting closer and closer. If I don't find a happy thought soon, it'll be game over. I'm braced for a crash landing. Neverland is far behind me. I'm falling through space and time. My life flashes before my eyes. I have wished on every star, candle, and clock since I was a little girl. I have tried to be brave, honest, kind, and true like the stories tell you to. I've whistled while I've worked. I've longed to be part of that world. I've been thrown down, knocked around, beaten down, fallen into the ground, and still I get the fuck back up. So when will my wishes on stars be answered? When will enough be enough? I know I sound like a victim, but I'm done with being tough. We have all been lied to. Dreams don't come true, only nightmares do. There is no universe, no gods or mystical force working in our favour. And if there is, then they're spitting in my face, mocking the pathetic fruits of my labour. There are no fantasies or fairy tales, no dreams come true or happily ever after for you. There's just this. Growing up, I thought I would get to be the hero in my story. But looking back, I can see this is no hero's journey. This is a villain origin story.
Yeah! Christy Gurley, everybody! We have one final poet in this round, so please put your hands together and give all the love as we welcome back to the stage, Aditya!
So this one's called Running Out. There's a constant movement to running out, a sense of being flung past a union beyond what is allowed. Like the airplane that runs out of runway when it takes to the skies, or the runway that runs out of concrete when it takes to the ground, or the ground that runs out of soil when it takes to a river, or the river that runs out of people when it, well, runs out. My home is no stranger to running out. And there's a certain danger to running out, because for me, running out is desperation. It's grandpa's mind running out of words to read as his eyes ran out of vision. Running out is depletion. It's the wringing dry of an ice cream tub with your little sister on vacation when you've just run out of a relationship and your heart is bare. Running out is care. The smell of grandma's filter coffee in the air, thanks to bitterness running out of coffee beans, warming the farthest corners of my mornings. It's grandma herself, never running out of people to feed. My friends, her friends, I knew her as a girlfriend, high friends, low friends. She once said, hello, friends. The alchemy of her kettle, drawing a family to settle around its orbit in service of its shrillness. Running out is stillness and illness. The breath hitching, the heart catching in the throat of a grandma who ran out of time, and the house that ran out of home. My home is no stranger to running out. And there's a constant movement to running out. Like a family that moves homes every 3 years. No evicting landlords or horrific land wars, just a dad wanting to do his best job at raising kids who never ran out of his money, his love. And money is a form of love until you make enough to not run out of it. My home is no stranger to running out. Windows running out of familiar sills and familiar hills, walls of familiar pain, skies of familiar rain, birds of familiar song that belonged to a childhood that ran out of one city straight into another. Running out isn't new to me. In fact, it grew on me, brought things that were ending into closer view for me. Running out of school and then running out of school friends, making new friends, the cool friends. This time I leave you, friends. Running out isn't new to me. So when 3 years ago my country suddenly flew from me, I didn't allow myself to find home because I wasn't convinced I'd run out of anything new. I wasn't convinced. I was empty here. You see, for 20 years, it took me to decide that home wasn't out there, it lived inside. But the day I left the place where I thought it wasn't, something still died. So where was it? I don't know. And when I don't know something, I compare it with other things so they can have somebody to play with, because running out is a loneliness that you can't get away with. And maybe a metaphor is just a question that's run out of its answer, so I make sure I never run out of metaphors for home. Here's one. I wonder if home is like the runway beneath an airplane. Something that runs out when you move too fast.
Can we just get a big round of applause for all of our second round slammers? Yeesh. I see how I threw that to the judges rather than getting particularly close to them. Might lose an arm. Jesus. Yeah, yes. That is the second round. Guys, while they are taunting some scores, I just wanted to say a couple quick things. One, you would massively help Dumfries and Galloway Arts Festival if you could fill out an evaluation form about if you enjoyed the event. On your way out, you can see them scurry into action. Those are the people to go to. Some of them are on the tables. If you want to grab one on the way out, fill it out, hand it back in right away. It would massively help them out. And anything you can do to help out an arts organisation at the current time would be appreciated. As all the poets down front go, that'd be super nice. So yes, please consider doing that. They do a huge amount of work to try and put on an amazing festival. And so, yeah, anything we can do to try and help them out would be really good. Some of you might have stumbled in here because you had someone in the slam that you came to support, or because you're just coming along to the festival and wanted to see what's going on and are now like, I think spoken word's kind of my thing. That's happened to all of us, don't worry. Hey, it happens all the time. If you are looking for more spoken word and you don't know where to find it, well, good news. Here at the Stove, you can find brave new words, and you can find amazing poets like Susi, who can point you in the right direction of stuff locally. If you are ever stuck, you can hit us up. You can Loud Poets, search I Am Loud or Loud Poets, drop us an email. We will be able to find poetry wherever you are across the UK, Scotland, even down south. There's some incredible nights all over the country, and we would love to point you in the direction of your closest one. If you can't be arsed going outside, because who wants to go outside, then you can watch it online. You might have noticed we have cameras. We film all of our events. We have done for quite a few years now. We have literally hundreds of videos online. You can see all the other slams that we've done this year. You can go and watch all the slams from last year, including the Grand Slam final. We have videos from not only incredible Scottish poets, but some of the top names, just sort of UK-wide. We have people like Shane Koizan and stuff as well, worldwide, on our YouTube channel. And so if you want to go and check any of that out, okay, that'd be massively appreciated. A little subscribe, anything like that would just be great. Cool. I'll just, because they almost rioted last time, I'll just announce. The three poets going through to the final round, and the order that they will read in. And you know what? I'm having such a nice night. You can cheer after everyone. A little gift from me to you. So, our first poet through is Aditya! You took full advantage of that. I respect it. Our second poet in the third round will be Noor! And our third and final poet will be Tabo! Again, it is such a hard thing to do. Like, scoring that first round was a nightmare. Imagine how hard it is to score the second round. That is crazy. Can we get a big round of applause for all of our second round slammers? Damn. Yes, so that is Aditya, Noor, and Tabo. You know what? To give them a second, I'll do a wee poem. I'll do one person's yay. I'll do a nice short love poem. Everyone loves a love poem. I want to be a mountain so that you and I can stand side by side and make valleys together. I want to be the East Coast of America so you can be the West, and when separation puts our love to the test, a nation will build railroads for us. I want to be the sun so you can be the moon, and when we align, the whole world will look up, but it'll be so dark. Only we can see what we're doing. I want to be Adam and Eve before the shame of fig leaves so we can be the first to experience kiss and touch and love and lust. I want to be Batman so you can be Wonder Woman and we can make fun of Aquaman together. I guess what I'm trying to say is I want you. And I want you to want me too. I want to swim in your eyes, not because they're blue, because they have unexplored depths, and I want to dive to the bottom of you. I want you to be my first sober first kiss. I want you to make up for all the drunken ones I've missed, because I honestly can't think of a drink I want to taste more than your lips. I want to be every blade of grass. So when at last the sun begins to rise, I know you'll be holding me like morning dew, I guess. What I'm trying to say is, I want you. And I want you to know I don't say this with ease. I was ready to swear off love for good until you swept in like an ocean breeze and blew my line in the sand back into beach again. And I've wanted to tell you this 1,000,000 times before, but instead, I write love poems. I don't want to have to write them anymore. Thank you very much, guys. Please keep that applause building. Keep that noise going as we welcome back your first slammer. Go absolutely wild for Aditya!
Thank you. This one's called What Happens in Reverse Time. My flu appointment is scheduled for yesterday. Due to a fever I will contract next week. The hernia sleeping in my mom's stomach has reconnected itself, and grandma has knit me countless sweaters apart after she awoke from the funeral pyre. I'm listening to Hotel California, which begins with a fade-in and ends in that classic guitar melody. Servers come walking towards cafe seats carrying empty glasses that I refill with bubble tea, then I get money, take tips, and leave. What happens in reverse time? Benjamin Button doesn't remain a curious case, and Christopher Nolan gets famous for writing stories forward. Hair growth is the primary problem plaguing middle-aged self-worth, and married couples love until birth does them part. The ones who don't, all the wounded, get newly mended hearts. Days end in dawns, winters in Octobers. There is an entire season called Rise. What happens in reverse time? Britain mends barriers with its Brentry into Europe. And the British Museum empties its contents onto the globe. Wars involve giving life, unsealing tombs, and guns swallow bullets out of healing wounds. Smiles are commonplace. They're common ways to keep your mouth. And someone asks you if you're crazy if you hold a giant frown. You draw tears from the ground like dew from the soil, and the news gives you updates on how many people smiled. Everyone remembers their last love and waits for their first. Age comes with hope. Youth gives you wisdom. Seas, water, skies. What happens in reverse time? Historians become fortune tellers, reading the past like a book, and archaeologists are explorers, assembling the truth of a world that hurls itself at beginnings like ends, and motivational speakers still like to pretend you can quit your job before you get too young. You admit you can't, because you're one among every hustler who busts it every Monday after Monday after Monday after Monday after Monday. Countless Mondays rotate the earth westward, the years losing digits like your weighing scale, and Krishna awakes with an arrow coming out of his foot. Buildings crash and build. Coffee gets hotter by the minute. Beards shrink if undisturbed. Flowers die at their youngest. The universe begins with dark iron balls floating in midair and ends in a spectacular collapse of matter and energy. What happens in reverse time? You begin a poem.
Give it up right, these guys. Our second poet in the third round. Please put those hands together. Go absolutely fucking wild for New.
I want to talk about what brought me to this stage. See, mostly, it was this little girl that was so filled with rage. And it's like from a really young age, she learned that, see, when she writes things down on a page, that page will take away that rage. So she'd write. Because, see, she didn't understand why she was told not to cry even though she was upset. Why did she take on their stress? Why did no one ask if she was okay when she was clearly in pain? Why is it now that she can't trust people? Look, she don't want to seem feeble, so she has to be strong. And now she can't cry because, see, she's built dams in her eyes to stop the streams becoming rivers. But now there's a drought and she can't cry. I mean, unless, of course, someone shouts, because if you shout at me, I will cry. See, she's repressed those feelings so deep she can't even feel the ground beneath her feet, but she can still catch a beat. See, I think I'm a writer. I'm really good at that. I can doubt my performance, my delivery, but see, my pen game, unmatched. See, poetry is for me. And for me, poetry is to let your mind run free. Poetry is like words without a beat that come together so rhythmically they have the whole crowd tapping their feet and clicking their fingers to the same beat. See, poetry for me is like free psychiatry. I write to try to understand society, but more time, I just write down my dreams. I write down what I'm going to be, how no one's going to stop me. I write down a list of all the things I can achieve, and on top of that list is just to believe in me. See, poetry is like being figuratively on your knees, asking God, please help me understand what it means to be me, because look, I want to believe, but I don't know what to be. Is it the trauma that shaped me that makes me? The coping mechanisms, the constant inhibitions, the complete lack of boundaries that have me smiling so blindly, even you lot start to believe you know me. But see, I don't even know who I am. Because none of this was my plan. See, my dad liked whiskey with his tea, and sometimes he would shout and mum would scream, and see, when their voices would beat, I'd bring dad his whiskey and I'd take mum her tea, then dad would roll his weed and fall asleep. See, mum smoked a cigarette before she went to bed, and she said it helped with the stress in her head. And I said, Ma, for stress, there's meds. But see, she said that she would rather be dead. See, I want to know if I like whiskey or if I like tea. I want to know if I shout or if I scream. Is it tobacco or weed I need? Look, I want to know what's me. What is toxicity? What is it that they taught me? What's actually me? I think about it as I pour some whiskey in my tea. Look, I don't even like whiskey or tea. I prefer coffee, and I hate it when people shout and scream. Why can't we all just speak politely, nicely? I wonder. I'm younger. I look down at the reflection in my cup and she stares back at me and she asks me, who are you? I don't know. Thank you.
Yeah. Good, everybody! We have one final poet, and that means I need you to give everything you got left, make all the noise you possibly can, raise the fucking roof for Tama!
This one I named it Making Love. This poem was over right before we began. I like the way we met. I wish we could do it again. Your heart voice can tell and they understand. Making love to you is that thing that makes perfect sense. This poem was over right before we began. Like the way we met. I wish we could do it again. Your heart voice can tell and they understand. Making love to you is that thing that makes perfect sense. I would like to parade your atmosphere like a pair of silverware, beautiful chandelier. I cannot seem to resist your torching flare. I want to live you love bites everywhere. Hopefully be your ticket out of there. You will worry about no fucking bear, 'cause making love to you, it is an act so simple. Your body guides me just how to handle your beautiful temple, become my everyday ritual. Your praise name is our true submission to Utiko. I will love you for as long as I live. This feeling is shallow deep. We have ways of speaking without moving lips. You make me unafraid my own inferiorities, but where I'm from, daylight saving is illicit, so altering time is a serious felony. You're sent when making love to you. Our scent is absorbed through skin. It is inhaled from vapor and ingested with a burst of flavor. This life could be our thriller, possibly ours to figure. Because I would like to show you how important you are. You taught me to measure love beyond black and white, to fight Shakespeare with a butter knife. Your stretch marks are well preserved. It is something right. I would like to tour your silhouettes like a historic site. With you as the guide, I make my way down your waist, one breath at a time. Caress your tongue, caress your neck with my tongue, till we compose a song empowered by the gift of ancient gods. I'm received by your entry part. Access to crack your codes, hack into your heart is granted. Making love to you, it is an act so simple. Your body guides me just how to handle your beautiful temple. This poem is over right before we begin. I love the way we
Come on, everybody! Can we just get a big round of applause for all of our finalists? That was wild. Damn. Yeah. I literally was just like, damn. I'll just do a poem that I know how to do. I didn't go to university. But what I did instead was moved in with a bunch of guys and lived like we went to university. But because we didn't go to university, we had double the time to live like we went to university. And unfortunately, I did that in my dad's house. Me and my friends would hang around his place so much, he got tired of it and moved in with his girlfriend. He just went, you fucking pay the rent and leave me alone. I was like, okay. So I was around 17 and I trashed his house for 4 years. I took figures off a market value, kind of trashed. He had this table, coffee table in the living room, this sort of big wooden hexagonal frame. And one day when putting up a Yoda poster, I managed to blue tack so hard I fell backwards through the coffee table, smashed the glass. And we continued to use that coffee table for 3 years, which is both impressive and fucking shameful. It's one of those places where where you can't take care of yourself, so you get 3 other people that can't take care of themselves, and you kind of glue yourself together to exist as a single person. It was that kind of vibe. So this is a poem about that, I guess. The coffee table has no glass. It is an empty frame in need of replacing, but we don't. It sits there for months, and every day someone places the ashtray on the ghost of the frame, of the pane, sorry. Gut dropping, slow motion, a room full of smirking faces gleefully providing no warning. No cracking, crashing smash, just a poof, cloud of ash, and the seldom practiced task of hoovering. We had hoped the unopened letters piled in its center would rise high enough to provide old wood new purpose, a stamp-addressed surface. The spilled drinks would run red ink into black. I remember that balancing act. Moments before my landing, fingers pressing on tacks only for gravity to push back. The sound of my landing was swallowed by the laughs. Only a few scrapes, no scars that would last. But I bet they're still picking glass out the carpet, and yes, it might have been easier to simply discard it, but when do you stop sweeping once you've started? Not everything shattered should be treated so harshly. So we rested, chipped mugs, tea stained on the edge of the frame, broken shards, slowly pulling ourselves together again. Cool. As I said before, I'm just going to read out who came second and then who came first. The reason being, those 2 people qualify for the Grand Slam final, and the first prize winner gets a cash prize of £200. We're not going to give you it as cash. That's insane. Send you out into the night. Here's £200. Enjoy your walk home. No, you'll invoice us. It'll be fine. But it sounds better to say cash prize. So yes, whoever's got that, you can invoice us. And I will be in touch with all the details of Grand Slam final stuff and all of that. But all 3 finalists should be incredibly proud of themselves. All the second round slammers should be incredibly proud of themselves. All the first round slammers should equally so. This has genuinely been one of my favorite slams we've done so far. Incredible. Can I get a little drum roll, please? In second place is And your first place slammer, your South champion, is Aditya! You gotta get that belt up.
Yeah, sure.
Sure? You don't have to. You don't have to.
No, yes, I'll do one.
Go for it, yes. Give it up one more time for Aditya! You gotta keep clapping as he frantically finds the ball. That's just how it works.
Yes, okay. Oh my God. I have one that I really like, so. Yes, okay. Oh my God, thank you so much, all of you. This has been wonderful. Thank you. Love you all. So this is a weird one that I wrote about creating poetry. I tried to take it in a weird direction, so see how you feel about it. Yeah. Not creating poetry is not an error in creation. You cannot fail at poetry any more than you can succeed. Ascribing creation to poetry is no different from pretending a circle begins where your pencil touches the paper. You cannot begin eternity. Poetry is subatomic. It has always lived inside you, taken refuge within your borders, and waited for your cardiac government to recognize it. To confirm that it is a prisoner, you first need to let it speak. It uses a language that, like a hand reaching for a toothbrush, operates too familiarly to delineate. The best compliment for a choir is not being able to tell the voices apart. Poetry speaks in perfect cadence with your tongue, a silent voice that mistakes congruence for obedience, obedience for mercy, mercy for peace. Poetry takes care of you to the point where you're not sure who the benefactor is anymore. It owes you rent and becomes your home to settle it. The biggest compliment for a home is not being able to tell yourself apart. On your worst days, you have kept it inside, warmed it with anecdote, lowered feeling down its throat. You felt it curl around your spine, and you have jealously guarded it like an open treasure. Not creating poetry doesn't mean it ceases to exist. Often it just means you don't want it to leave your shadow, that you think you need it a little more than the world needs it today. It does not vanish. Far from it. It becomes food. Maybe expression becomes starvation. So the next time a poem refuses to come undone, I will console myself with the reminder that I'm not an incompetent artist, just a competent tyrant. I need my poem more than my poem needs freedom. After all, the best compliment for a hostage is knowing it has made its master a little less hungry. Don't cry, please. I wish you didn't have to perish inside me. Then again, were you ever created?
Yeah. Give it up for your chef, DJ! I sincerely hope if this is your first slam, you know that they're all exactly like this. This is the minimum bar for all slams. Please do go and seek out more spoken word. If this is your first foray into it, I love these slams. Slams are such an amazing way to see the vast range that spoken word can offer. We were talking about today in the workshop that spoken word often people think of as a specific thing, like it is a genre of poetry. It has genres within itself. The range of style, of voice, of subject, of tone, everything that you find in spoken word is there. And I think when you see a slam like this, you get a glimpse of that. But it is every spoken word show. Whether you go and you will laugh, you will cry, you will think, you will feel. So please, if this is your first one, go and find more. I just want to say a huge shout out to our beautiful judges. That is a thankless task. I mean, not thankless, we just thanked them, but you know what I mean. Please do fill out an evaluation form, not only because it helps Dumfries and Galloway Arts Festival, but also, say nice things about this show specifically. That'd be wonderful. So yes, please do support the rest of the festival. Go and see amazing stuff. Continue to support the Stove and the incredible work they do, especially outside, we are Central Belt people, we live in Edinburgh, but it is so important to see the organisations that are keeping art and culture alive outside of the Central Belt and not getting a lot to do that. So your support. A question from the audience. You give it to the Dumfries and Galloway Arts people. They will make themselves apparent. But yes, please continue to support them. Can we get a huge thanks for the beautiful folk from Dumfries and Galloway Arts Festival? Can we also get a massive round of applause for all of the staff here at the wonderful Stove Network Cafe? And one final huge, massive round of applause for each and every one of your slammers! I hope you will follow the rest of the Slam series. If this is the first one, get caught up. The first couple are already out on our YouTube channel. This one will be going out in full for free. You can watch it. Please go and check that out. All the other ones will as we head towards the Grand Slam final. If you want to find out details of how you can do that, come have a chat with us. But for now, I've been Kevin Mclean. You guys have been fucking awesome, and we will see you again real soon, no doubt. Good night! Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, we'd appreciate it if you could hit the like button, if you could hit the subscribe button, and make sure to ring that bell icon so you don't miss any updates from us in the future. If you want to go that extra mile and support us a little further, we do have a Patreon channel with loads of exclusive goodies, and you can sign up for as little as $1 a month. We appreciate your help, guys, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.